I want to thank you for joining me today for this interview. First, may I get your name and a little bit of information about your position at the University of Oregon?
Yeah, it's good to see you, and thank you. Really enjoy seeing you. My name is Julia Nemirovskaya, and I work part-time. I don't know, whatever my position is. I'm a senior instructor and theater director. But I don't work spring semester. I only work 2 semesters per year. Because I usually spend spring semester here in Bourg-sur-Yvette.
Awesome. I'm curious, just as a starter question, do you have a favorite poet yourself?
Sure, I have several, but maybe I absolutely love Osip Mandelstam, the Russian poet. If you take classical poetry, because there are also several modern poets that I really love. And in I love several English language poets like Eliot, and of course I love Rainer Rilke, the German poet who I think was a very powerful influence on other favorite poets of mine like Tsvetaeva and Pasternak.
Okay, that's actually a perfect connection to the next question, which is what inspired you to begin writing poetry?
I think poetry was very big when I was growing up. It was totally everything was actually there even, and so my mom, who was working as an editor and also a literary editor, and also studied at Moscow State University at the Department of Philology, Literature and Language. She brought me occasionally Silver Age, 20th century forbidden poetry, and finally one day a friend brought us an album where there were various poems, and I copied them by hand and immediately memorized them, and that actually was so powerful that for me that I began to write my own poetry. I think I was like 10 or 11, but I forgot what the details, sorry.
No, that was a great answer. Are there themes that you particularly like to explore in your poetry?
Yes, absolutely. I really want to understand the connection between inanimate and animate things and psychological conditions like that a person like myself, for example, has, and the way they are processed and experienced in nature. That has been my major interest throughout the years. And so the last poem I wrote before the war was about a witch and a fox who are exploring American nature. They're going through the country, like through the mountains to the ocean. And the witch explains to the little fox, who ultimately ends up being her son, from a werewolf or werewolf, I don't know, but by a werewolf. Yeah, she explains to that little fox how things function, how like the reflection of the moon functions and the stones and everything. And that was kind of summarizing. And also the third component is language, and how this language, nature, and human mind kind of collaborate sometimes, and sometimes just relate to each other. Because it's the war, I wrote like maybe I only wrote about the war. I've written recently.